I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Desert Community College to order. The time is 9:35. Bonnie, would you please lead us in the pledge?
Please stand. Ready, begin. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. President Kinnaman, would you give us a roll call, please?
Yeah. Yes. Trustee DeGaldo. Excuse me.
Present.
Trustee Wilson.
Here.
What? Trustee Mary Jane Sanchez Fulton.
Here.
Trustee Yant.
Present.
Trustee Stefan.
Present.
Madam Chair Broughton.
Present. Appears that we're all present this morning. Happy to see you. It's been an exciting month. The board meeting agenda pursuant to the Government Code Section 54954.2B2, the board may take action on items of business not appearing on the posted agenda upon a determination of 2/3 vote of the board, or if there's less than 2/3 members present, a unanimous vote. That there is need to take a special immediate action, and that the need for action came to the attention of the local agency subsequent to the agenda being posted as specified. Julia, have any such items come forward? Thank you. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to the agenda of today, February the 9th? Hearing none, the agenda stands confirmed as presented. The board will now recess to closed session from 9:35, or a little bit later, to 10:15. The board will reconvene to open session at 10:30 a.m. Back to order. We're back in open session. There was reportable action today in closed session. February the 9th, 2018, in closed session, a motion was made by Bonnie Stefan and seconded by Roy Wilson to approve the non-reappointment of 2 probationary contract faculty members. Employee identification numbers 0305980 and 0570952 for the 2018-2019 academic year, and authorize the president or his designee to provide written notice of non-reappointment to each probationary faculty member. The motion carried with 5 members voting in favor and no members voting opposed. That is, the motion carried 5-0. The next item, and I see that we have some folks here for public comments, so we have 2 items on our agenda before we get to you, but we're looking forward to it. The next item on the agenda is public updates. President Kinnaman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. At this time, it's my privilege to invite up to the podium Oceana Collins, Assistant Professor of History, who will introduce the student who will read the proclamation for Women's History Month.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to the board. Good morning to all of the administrators, and good morning to my colleagues and members of the community. It is my honor today to introduce to the board a student to read the Women's History Month proclamation. But before I begin with the introduction, I would like to, on behalf of the history faculty here at COD, I would like to reaffirm our commitment to not just teaching his story, but also her story, honoring in both our research and our classrooms the importance of the contributions women have made and continue to make in history. So, it is my honor today to introduce to the College of the Desert community Mary Brownlee, who 34 years ago had to make a very difficult decision to drop out of college for both financial and personal reasons. After leaving college in her 20s, she has spent the last 34 years as a single mom, working in the private sector and being the sole provider for her son. Now that her son is grown, she is back to school, pursuing her dreams. She currently works at the COD Assessment Center as a work-study student and is a full-time student with a 4.0 GPA. She is also a history major. Mary's ultimate goal is to graduate and earn a teaching credential, at which point she looks forward to giving back to the local community everything she feels so grateful to have received. Mary wants the board to know that she is extremely grateful to College of the Desert for the opportunity to affordably pursue her goals and is enthusiastic about the services and instruction she has received here at College of the Desert.
Good morning. Good morning. Proclamation of Women's History Month. Whereas American history of every race, class, and ethnic background have made and continue to make historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways, and whereas American women have played and continue to play a critical political, economic, cultural, and social role in everyday sphere of the life of the nation by contributing to a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside the home. And whereas American women have played and continue to play a unique role throughout the history of the nation by providing the majority of the volunteer labor force of the nation. And whereas American women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and other movements, especially the peace movement, which created a more fair and just society for all. And whereas, despite these contributions, the role of American women in history has been consistently overlooked and undervalued in the literature, teaching, and study of American history. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that Board of Trustees of the Desert Community College District at its board meeting of February 10, 2017, designate March as Women's History Month. Be it further proclaimed that the Board of Trustees encourages observance of Women's History Month with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities.
Thank you so much. What a great job.
Also, at this time, it's my honor to introduce Valerie Calderon, athletic trainer. She'll introduce our student who will read the proclamation for National Athletic Training Month.
Good morning. My name is Valerie Calderon. I'm one of the athletic trainers here at College of the Desert. I am accompanied by, well, should have been accompanied by the rest of my athletic training staff and athletic director Gary Plunkett. I would like to introduce our athletic training student, Peyton Miles, who will read the proclamation for National Athletic Training Month.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm going to read the proclamation for National Athletic Training Month. So, whereas athletic trainers have a long history of providing quality health care for athletes and those engaged in physical activity based on specific tasks, knowledge, and skills acquired through their nationally regulated educational processes. And whereas athletic trainers provide prevention of injuries, recognition, evaluation, and aggressive treatment, rehabilitation, healthcare administration, education and guidance, compassionate care for all. And whereas the National Athletic Trainers Association represents and supports 44,000 members of the athletic training profession employed in many settings, including professional sports, colleges and universities, high schools, clinics and hospitals, corporate and industrial settings, performing arts, military branches, and whereas leading organizations concerned with athletic training and healthcare have joined together in a common desire to raise public awareness of the importance of athletic training and to emphasize the importance of quality healthcare within the aforementioned settings. whereas such an effort will improve healthcare for athletes and those engaged in physical activity, promote athletic trainers as health professionals. Now therefore I, Peyton Miles, an athletic training student of College of the Desert in Palm Desert, California, do hereby proclaim the month of March as National Athletic Training Month in Palm Desert, California. I urge all the people of Palm Desert, California to learn about the importance of athletic training. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I only have a few more updates. I'm very pleased to share with the community that College of the Desert, we had our site visit on October 2nd through 5th for accreditation, and had a visiting team from our accreditation commission, and the team and the commission has reaffirmed accreditation for 7 years for College of the Desert, so we will not have a site visit for 7 years. You know why everybody's excited about that? Because everybody is involved in accreditation. And that was, I think, why we had such a positive outcome. We had some great leadership, great teams, and we've mentioned them before, but at the end of the day, there's not a person that the process doesn't touch, including the trustees. I'd also like to mention that it does require us to do a follow-up in 18 months on Standard 3A3, which we are prepared and had anticipated that we would need to provide that follow-up report, but we have a lot to be very excited and very proud of. The next item I'd like to mention briefly is somehow, some way, I don't know, we opened our temporary campus in Palm Springs, and we have enrollments. We have the community has embraced us, and fortunately we haven't caused any traffic issues or other types of issues. I know we're still tweaking some of the lighting and the brightness and those types of things, but that's typical with any new facility. And Mac McGinnis and working with the college team on the facility side, they just, I don't know how they pulled it off, but we're very fortunate that they were able to do that, so that this time the planning and the work of the deans and other staff members to open the campus, that we were able to do it. You know, I know we wanted to do it last fall, and that they had done a lot of work in preparation, but fortunately this time we were able to go ahead and get that campus open. It's much needed there. All right, I got some great news to share about Bellwether Awards, and if Michael can help me out here. There we go. So, 2018 Bellwether Awards. The EDGE program won one of the Bellwether Awards, and for those of you not familiar with Bellwether, there are 3 awards that are given annually. They're in 3 different categories. There are 10 finalists in each of those 3 categories from across the nation, and so we were pleased that to be the only college that was selected to be in 2 of those 3 categories. And so here is a group of distinguished, for the most part, individuals that were very, very happy that the EDGE program was recognized as a Bellwether Award winner. The EDGE program was in the category of instructional programming and services. And again, with this and the program I'm getting ready to mention to you, it gives us an opportunity to share best practices that College of the Desert is doing with other institutions. So at this time, I'm going to ask the individuals that were involved in this presentation to come up here. Dr. Daniel Martinez. Of course, Dr. Martinez is our Director of Institutional Research. Katie Chartier, Assistant Director. Assistant Director, First Year Experience. Let's see, Gary Bergstrom, if he is here, he may be teaching. Professor Reading. Felix Marhenda Donate, Associate Professor. CIS. Reed Sagara, Instructor English. And of course, presenting was Trustee Aurora Wilson. Dr. Annabelle Neary. And I happened to be the one that was questionable in the picture. So,
But you were happy.
I wasn't in this group. Yeah, they just let me pose.
and we're also we're a finalist, and you guys can stay up here, okay? We were also a finalist in the Planning, Governance, and Finance category. And again, we were one of the only college in the nation that was in two categories. And my sidebar, hopefully the Bellwether folks aren't watching, or any of our others. You know, I'm biased. I think this group was worthy of the Bellwether as well, but we had 29 colleges from across the nation there, and it's you probably have to spread the joy around. And but this category, we had a very compelling story. And at this time, I'd like to invite up, or recognize, if you're already up here, the odd person that's in the picture, which is me, Trustee Bonnie Steffen, Dr. Annabelle Neary. John Ramont. Dr. Kelly Hall. Kelly was there, you know, now she's in a new role, Dean School of Social Science and Arts. She was the former Academic Senate President, so she was part of the transformation we went through our planning and governance process in various roles. Oh, there you are. And of course, Bert Batania. Professor of Architecture. In addition to the presenters that were there, I'd like to acknowledge Pam Hunter. She is unable to be here today, but also very instrumental in preparing our application and working with us on the project. Caroline Maloney, Director of Institutional Grants. Now, I keep on picking at myself. You know, it's fun to show up and get to be in a picture and get a prize for something that you are very little involved in. And so, in addition, we have some people that, with this team, that really make all this possible. Jenna Hunsinger, counselor in the EDGE program. Liliana Casas, outreach specialist. Paulina Rodriguez, Outreach Specialist. Carlene Hart, Secretary. And the following Edge Outreach Specialists are attending an outreach event today and are unable to be here. Joshua Rodriguez and Cynthia Cerna. Laura Graff. Where's Laura at? I didn't see Laura. Laura, I didn't see you back there, Laura. I'm sorry. Is there anybody else? All right. Thank you so much for everything. Well earned recognition. And sure. I think that's great. And this really demonstrates some remarkable work you're doing. And at the end of the day, you know, I know you're doing it because you're transforming lives of our students in this valley. And for that is what I thank you for mostly. So let's take a picture.
Vice President should be in this too. Joe, you and our Vice President in this too.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Annabelle.
Adds completeness. What you want us to do? Yeah, get in there. Okay, what do you want us to move together or? I love the chaos that's happening back there.
Everybody see Robin? A few more. Okay. COD. COD. For the heck of it. Edge. Edge. No other. Okay, that's not over. Okay, ready? Another camera. One more camera. Sorry. Two categories. Two categories.
There you go.
Set. Cheese. Cheese. Thank you so much, everybody. Congrats.
Interesting. Great.
I'm not done yet.
Good.
I still am doing the video. Okay. Okay, that's all? Oh, yeah. I'm talking to Mike. So at this time, we're going to play a really quick video, okay? All right.
Excellent. A little excitement there.
That was Felix.
We lit a firecracker.
It was. It was. The room was dead silent, and he screams. And then everything else happened. So, Madam Chair, that concludes my public updates. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's so exciting to be, I mean, we've always known we were the best, but to have that confirmed is very nice. The next item on the agenda is public comments. Persons who wish to speak to the board on any item may do so at this time. There's a limit of 3 minutes per person and 15 minutes per topic, unless further time is granted by the board. Your comments will be timed, and you'll be asked to stop speaking when the timer sounds. The first person or group speaking today wishes to showcase scholarships that are available to all the young ladies within our district community college district boundaries who meet the age and the grade point criteria. So Kenya, the queen in her court of the Riverside County Fair and National Date Festival, would you please come forward and tell us about your scholarship and your event? Introduce yourselves, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kiana Garcia, and I am this year's Queen Scheherazade. I am also Marisol Reyes' daughter. She works at Human Resources, and she's in the back. I am a senior at Palm Desert High School, and I have been on honor roll for all 4 years of high school, and I'm involved in a couple of clubs, such as the Encouraging Capability Project, the National Honor Society, the Interact Club, and I'm president of the drama and the very first Ballet Folklorico Club at my school. I try to give back to my community by volunteering with COFEM, the Narrow Door, Street Medicine of the Coachella Valley, and I volunteer with Southwest Church to help build houses for families in Mexico. I plan to attend College of the Desert for the first 2 years of college, where I hope to transfer to UCLA to major in communications and world arts and culture. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Princess Danyazad.
Hi everyone, I'm Sienna Gonzalez, this year's Princess Danyazad. And to tell you all a little bit about myself, I am a senior at Shadow Hills High School. I have attended Shadow Hills all 4 years while maintaining a GPA above a 4.0 every semester since freshman year. I am on the school's varsity cheer and track team, as well as involved in the internship program there, where I get to teach a period of math and AP seminar to the underclassmen. I volunteer at Sun City Palm Desert Community Association, Sheer Elegance Hair Salon, and occasionally will attend the Desert Ridge Academy Middle School to help get their cheer program up and running. I also work as a hostess, all this stuff. I plan to attend Cal State Fullerton to major in psychology to hopefully work with children. And now Princess Jasmine will introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Cadwyn Lethlane and I'm a senior at Shadow Hills High School. I'm also this year's Princess Jasmine. I'm involved in many clubs both inside and outside of my high school, where I have maintained above a 4.0 all 4 years of high school, as well as these other ladies. At my high school, I'm the president of our California Scholarship Federation, as well as the president of our senior class. I'm also a 4-year varsity cheerleader and this year's varsity cheer captain. Outside of school, I'm a part of National Charity League, where my mom and I volunteer at 20 different charitable organizations throughout the valley. And I'm a part of Young Women Leaders Forum, where I am a mentee. In the fall of 2018, I plan to attend UCLA and major in biochemistry. Thank you.
May we extend this presentation a bit? I know. May we, with you, continue, please.
So now I would like to talk about the special days of the Riverside County Fair and National Date Festival. The dates of the fair this year start on Friday, February 16th through Sunday the 25th. On Tuesday, our opening day, general admission will be $5 for Fantasy $5 Friday. We will also be having, on Tuesday the 20th, tune into KMIR to catch a phrase that saves for a discounted $6. We will also be having Kids Days Tuesday through Thursday, where one child per paid adult is free from 3 p.m. till closing time. On Wednesday, the 21st, if you bring in a small, used electronic device for recycling, you can be admitted into the fair for free. If you have any questions on any of the items, you can check that out on datefest.org. On Thursday, the 22nd, it will be a Veterans Appreciation Day, where there will be a special presentation at the pageant stage at 5:30 p.m. And if you're a veteran, you can be admitted into the fair for free, plus 3 guests every day.
Okay.
Now, Princess Denyazad will give you more information about our entertainment.
So the entertainment for this year, starting with our opening day, we have the band War performing for us. Yes. And then on that following day, the Saturday, we have Chase Rice, and Sunday is Los Rieleros del Norte. And then on our closing weekend, we have Lou Graham, the founding member of Foreigner with Foghat. And on our closing day, we have a super fiesta that includes many different performers. And now Princess Jasmine will give you more information about the activities there.
Thank you. So free with the price of just one admission ticket are our demolition derbies, our monster truck shows, our hypnotist shows, our cooking with dates where we provide free dates to those in the audience, and of course our nightly musical. So come and visit us.
Thank you so much for having us. We hope to see you all at the fair starting 1 week from today. Again, I want to congratulate the College of the Desert and the board members for receiving the Bellwethers Award. That's awfully exciting, especially because I plan on attending College of the Desert next year to take advantage of the EDGE program. So. Do you have any questions for us?
Unfortunately, with our format, we actually aren't allowed to ask questions, but we thank you so much for your presentation. Good job.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, good, thank you. Limited edition.
Oh, wow. That's great. Wow. Those are beautiful photos.
You girls did a great job.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Those are beautiful. Honey.
I don't think we can do that. The next person that wishes to speak on public comments is Joanne Higdon.
Good morning, Board.
Good morning.
My name is Joanne Higdon. I'm a longtime resident of Coachella Valley. I've lived in Bermuda Dunes since 1988 and spent considerable time in the Eastern Valley since the early 60s. Some of you will remember that I was also the VP of Business Services here, with at least 2 of the board members here, and certainly I know another. I was your VP here in the 90s and into the early 2000s. I wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you and wow. The commitment that you all have demonstrated to Coachella Valley in support of education is absolutely the most wonderful commitment that we could have. And the positive press with the opening of the new site at Palm Springs High, and the fact that it caused no major traffic upsets. Very important, of course. I further want to congratulate the board, the president, the administration, faculty, and our attorneys for the determination in continuing the eminent domain process on the virtually abandoned and certainly blighted property in Palm Springs. Your commitment to providing education throughout the Coachella Valley is paramount to not only the future of our residents, but also our local economy. And now I will quote President Kinnaman. I believe it was at the November board meeting when he said, "This will be a win-win-win situation for students, for College of the Desert, and for Palm Springs Unified." And I applaud you. I also applaud your efforts in Indio. I grew up in actually North Indio, and it broke our hearts to see Indio's demise. To see the old bus station site become productive again, it was like seeing the phoenix come out of the sand. It was absolutely amazing. I know you're also making great strides in other areas. Thermal Mecca, I'm not sure exactly what you call that center down there, but I have driven by and certainly have high hopes for that as well. The bottom line is I encourage you to continue in your determination efforts to provide access to education wherever and whenever you can. And it's also absolutely critical to the fiscal health of the college as well. I don't know how many of you are aware of some of the new proposals at the state level. Your protection for funding is only going to be for 1 year, and they're getting ready to give you a double hit with both a new funding formula and also for the new stance on having a 115th community college that will be strictly online. That will impact every district in the state of California. So get prepared, and you have positioned yourself very, very well with the dual enrollment that you're obviously positioned to do in Palm Springs. And I thank you for all that you've done for me in my life as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Thank you.
That's nice.
Introduction of staff.
Yes, Madam Chair. First, I have the privilege of introducing Prudence Bailey, CTE Transition Specialist. Prudence, are you with us? Come on up. Prudence is a former COD student and graduate of California State University, San Bernardino, where she earned a bachelor's degree. She previously worked for Time Warner Cable, where she worked as a business development specialist. She has lived in the Coachella Valley for 12 years and currently serves on a citizens advisory committee with the city of Indio to better serve the underprivileged. Prudence is married with 1 son and enjoys watching sports, cooking, and traveling. So we're going to introduce a few more people to come up here, but we welcome you, okay? And please stay. Next, I have Cynthia Lopez, Enrollment Services Specialist by Enrollment Services Specialist Bilingual, Palm Springs campus. Cynthia graduated from the University of La Verne with a degree in computer science. She began her career with Elite Anywhere Corporation as the accounts receivable coordinator. While in college, she worked in student accounts and is excited to return to this field. In her free time, she loves to hike, work out, read romance novels, and go to Disneyland. She is looking forward to this new journey. Jim Lilly, Computer Support Specialist, Information Technology Services, Palm Springs campus. Jim is excited to be working for COD. He has over 13 years of experience in the IT field. He has worked with some great companies, including Dell and Lotus Elixir. He has an Associate's and Bachelor's of Science degree in Networking and Web and Graphic Design. He plans to start a master's degree program at the end of the year. Jim lives in Yucca Valley with his wife and 2 kids. On his off time, Jim loves playing basketball, hiking, and working out and 3D printing. Okay, great. Next, we have Brandon Reyes, part-time public safety officer, Palm Springs campus. Brandon was born and raised in Indio, California. He attended COD and played baseball under the late head coach Dave Buttles. Brandon has over 9 years of public safety experience. He is certified in SB 1626 training for K-12 California Community College campus security officers and post-certified PC 832 arrest. That's a mouthful. He also completed CPR and AED training, psychological, first aid, active shooter, and victims assistance training. Brandon has 2 children and is expecting a baby boy in June named Jackson. Next, I would like to introduce Dr. Oscar Espinoza Parra. Dr. Espinoza Parra is our Dean of Enrollment Services. He comes to COD with over 15 years of experience in higher education, specifically management experience as a registrar and in admissions and records, matriculation, outreach and recruitment, federal grants, enrollment management, and advising and counseling. He joins us from the Association for the Study of Higher Education located at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Dr. Espinoza Parra earned his PhD in higher education from Azusa Pacific University, where the title of his dissertation was, quote, "A structural model of intellectual development of Latina and Latino undergraduate students." In addition, and as a higher education scholar, Dr. Espinoza Parra has written multiple papers, chapters, and articles, and he has made numerous scholarly presentations at conferences throughout the United States and worldwide. He has also served as an adjunct faculty member in counseling and educational psychology. I want to welcome all of you personally. We're very excited about your roles that you'll be performing here at the college and how much our students are going to benefit from each and every one of you. And I don't know, we have a small enough group. Shall I put them on the spot?
Put him on the spot.
All right. If you have anything that you would like to share, you're happy to, but you're not obligated to, okay?
Oh, come on, be brave. We only bite occasionally.
Okay, good to know. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Oscar Espinoza Parra. I'm actually coming from Las Vegas. I grew up in Las Vegas. I've been living there for the last 30 years. I'm originally from Mexico. I came to this country as an immigrant without speaking a word of English, and so Spanish is actually my native tongue, and so I've had the benefits of really pursue post-secondary education. It's really a pleasure to be here and serve and to listen to the magnificent work that's been done already at the College of the Desert, but also to be able to serve this type of community that really relates to my own personal background, and I hope to be able to converge in my own professional and education and experience that I have here under the leadership of Dr. Neri and along with the amazing faculty, staff, and leadership that's already present. So thank you so much for this opportunity to be here.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank the board, Public Safety Department, and Tim Nakamura for the opportunity to work at the Palm Springs campus. Very excited to work there. It's a great opportunity. Students look happy attending college, and I thank you again for the opportunity. Thank you.
Hello, thank you. Very excited to work for COD. It's a great college. When I got here, I didn't know a lot about it, and all the tours I've been taking is very impressive. So I feel very privileged, and I appreciate it. Glenn and Sherry have been great, and hopefully we can have a bright future. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
Hello again.
Okay, peer pressure. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to be part of the COD family, and I'm excited to see the West Valley grow and see what it brings. So thank you.
Thank you.
Again, my name is Prudence Bailey. Thank you to the board for this opportunity. I did attend College of the Desert when I relocated here. So I, am a product of College of the Desert and later transferred into the Cal State system. So I think it's really great with my position that I'll be able to share that experience and help students do the same. So thank you.
Thank you. So one more thing, it's not that painful. We'd like to get a picture with you, so if you don't mind coming around here with the board. Thank you.
You're reading my mind. That's exactly what I was thinking.
A lot of photographs today.
Oh, yes, we'll break the camera.
Break the camera.
Mm-hmm. Oh, one more of the dark.
Did we omit something?
No, we're doing the dark. They turned off the thing so we don't have the interesting backdrop. Thank you. That's what.
All right.
Nice. Oh, it's going to turn it back to you. He is. It's very sweet. We're happy to have you join the College of the Desert family. Always nice to meet the new staff. The next item is minutes. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to the regular minutes of December the 15th, 2017? If there are no corrections to the minutes, they stand approved as read. The minutes for January the 19th will be brought to the board for approval at the next meeting. For reports, Ascot. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I like the, is that wow?
That's wow, yes.
That's wow. Good morning, trustees, Dr. Kinnaman, and executives, and guests, sorry. To start off, the Associate Students of College of the Desert Student Senate would like to welcome Carlos Maldonado as our advisor once again. We look forward to working alongside him in the Office of Student Life for another semester and hope that our paths lead to success.
Yes. Onward and upward.
The Ascot Student Senate is still in the process of planning our first event, Club Rush, which we hope to be more successful than the last one. And after that, our next event, is a new one that has not been done during my time here, at least, and will be titled the Student Rights Fair, where we hope to make students of the College of the Desert more aware of their rights as students. So this is going to be a very short report. Finally, the Associate Students College of the Desert would like to congratulate College of the Desert on the Bellwether Award for the EDGE program, which has been a very successful program since I've known about it my first time here and actually being a part of it. So it's exciting to see it grow. And I'm sure Trustee Delgado has some experiences as well that he could definitely share. And there's nowhere else to go but up from here. So thank you guys so much.
CSEA. Not only did she send the report, but she's presenting the report. How nice.
That's right. Good morning.
Good morning, Mary.
My name is Mary Lisi. I am the Chapter 407 Communications Officer, and I'll be giving our report this morning
You are
because President Prouty, who you know is a lab specialist in the automotive department, he's probably right now crawling
labs.
around underneath an automobile somewhere with a group of students. So he asked me if
That's what makes
I...
you the communication.
That's right.
You
And
communicate.
I think he's going to try to rotate all of the board into this throughout the year.
Fun.
So you won't see me till December. First of all, congratulations on winning the Bellwether Award. I'm going to take this opportunity to honor the classified staff who were involved in it, the EDGE program specialists, Cynthia Cerna, Joshua Rodriguez, Lily Casas, Paulina Rodriguez, and Secretary Carlene Hart. And they, in turn, coordinated with the classified staff from A&R, financial aid, counseling, bursar's office, and special programs. I'm not going to name them all, but they're all pretty much a lot of them in this building. To classified staff that sat on the CPC, the assessment planning outcomes, the budget subcommittee, the outreach and training, end user group, the enrollment management committee, to support staff who attended the chairs and support staff trainings offered by outreach and training, and to classified staff on the equipment and staff prioritization committees. To Jennifer Baker as our classified staff rep for accreditation, to Casey Lydeen and Cy Vang, and to our classified confidentials, Julia Breyer, Jeff Larson, and Mary Lou Marujo. A big shout out to all of them for everything they do for our students. I'm proud to be one of them. And secondly, we recently completed our first ever online negotiations survey that we sent out. We got back over 100 responses for the reopeners for our contract. And we got lots and lots of data, and we have put together an initial proposal, which will be voted on by the members February 23rd at our chapter meeting, and then we'll bring it to the district for negotiations after that. And that's my really short report. Thank you.
Thank you. Yay. College of the Desert Adjunct Association. All right. Let's see, Mr. Bayshore coming forward.
Good morning, everybody. Believe it or not, I only have good things to report today.
Yay.
I don't think I've ever said that before.
I recorded it.
Thank you. In spite of having one of the shortest flex programs ever, we had one of the most well-attended adjunct sessions ever. We had 34 adjuncts attend shared governance, 57 attended writing self-evaluations, and 95 people attended accountability. And our lunch on Friday was provided by some of the students who run the Solutions Kiosk, and they did a wonderful job. It was one of the best lunches we've ever had. Speaking of which, the student kiosk generated $72,000 in revenue this past fall semester, and for the calendar year 2017, it generated over $121,000. Wow. All students in both spring and fall will soon receive an incentive bonus for outstanding performance, and bonuses amount to about $500 per student. Wow. Where else can they earn 3 transferable credits and some money while learning how to create, operate, and terminate a real-world small business? And all activity is begun anew each semester and completed in fewer than 14 weeks. This new semester, adjuncts are once again carrying the load. The percentage of sections taught by adjuncts at our satellite campuses is as follows: Mechathermal, 69%, Indio, 70%, Palm Springs High School, 86%, Cathedral City High School, 91%, and Desert Hot Springs, 94%. One of the dictionary definitions of the word adjunct is non-essential, but from these figures, I think you can all agree that COD's adjuncts are anything but. Some other recent examples of adjuncts' contributions include Jay Lewenstein, adjunct in English composition at the Mechathermal campus, distributed the latest COD Friends of the Earth newsletter and a link to the Borderline Journal. Both showcase articles written by students in Jay's English 1A classes. The stories cover a wide range of topics and are inspirational and poignant. I urge you to read them to get a glimpse of what goes on in the lives of our students. They are truly moving stories. I've asked Julia to forward the email to each of you so that you can read them. And seriously, some of them will bring tears to your eyes. As part of the winter intersession, adjunct Michael Gladich offered a film studies class at the 2018 Palm Springs International Film Festival. This is one of the most important film festivals in the world, drawing filmmakers from across the globe. The students watched and discussed 16 films including several nominated for this year's Academy Award for Best Foreign Film. They also met and talked with filmmakers in person as part of their course. One of the students emailed Mike with, the following is a quotation from her email. I believe that the Contemporary World Film class provides an experience unlike any other offered at COD. I cannot think of a more invaluable educational experience, save for literally traveling abroad, than for young people to experience your class firsthand. What a rewarding experience. I, for one, am eternally grateful to the foundation at COD. Their providing the tickets on our behalf so that we could enjoy, learn, and grow through this experience is something I will never forget. End of quotation. And finally, I wanted to conclude today with some good news about our negotiations. I had hoped that by now they would be completed, but not yet, but we're really close. Am I right about that? Really close. So I expect to have good news on that front for you next month. Thank you.
Thank you. College of the Desert Faculty Association, Denise?
Sorry, Julia, I didn't get it done by Tuesday. It's been a hectic beginning of the semester. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Happy belated New Year. I'm sorry I was not here for the January meeting. I'm a representative to CTA State Council, and I was at our quarterly meeting in Los Angeles. This State Council meeting of 500 teachers had the additional opportunity to join the Women's March on Saturday, January 20th. Social activism is alive and well, and CTA joined thousands of men, women, and children to create, quote, transformative social and political change, as quoted by CTA President Eric Hines. Among the issues CTA supports is California's status as a sanctuary state and all dreamers. It may surprise you to know that statewide there are 5,000 DACA-designated teachers. At State Council, we also met and listened to Assemblyman Tony Thurmond, who has been endorsed by CTA for State Superintendent of Public Instruction. He is a dynamic speaker who engages his audience with a compelling personal narrative and commitment to students. As the K-12 districts of the Coachella Valley are all CTA affiliates, I know we will have opportunities to use our united voices on issues of concern to our students and our community. At the college, we start spring semester, and we appreciate the efforts of John Ramont's team in getting us our bonus checks. Speaking of checks, CODFA has invited payroll to speak at our next monthly meeting so that we can all have a better understanding of our pay stubs, and we thank you very much for accepting our invitation. Faculty are processing their decisions for health benefits during the extended open enrollment. Thank you, Misty, for notifications and clarifications on this important matter. The President's Health and Welfare Committee, which is part of our collective bargaining agreement, interviewed potential brokers, as you all know, and we look forward to working with our new broker, Burham. On Wednesday, January 31st, there was a meeting scheduled between COD Legal Firm and CODFA at the Public Relations Board, PERB, in Glendale. This was to be a follow-up pre-hearing settlement meeting with the hearing officer regarding a charge on our health benefits in 2015. All parties had met before the holiday break and were quite interested in the settling of the charges. CODFA, represented by CTA attorney, gave the district a reasonable proposal, which we were told we would hear about at our next meeting, January 31. Unfortunately, the day before the meeting, COD's lawyers asked for an abeyance. This last-minute notification disrupted several people's schedules and the communication opportunity to come to a settlement agreement. Personally, I had to stressfully negotiate with the director of sales at the hotel where my reservation was held in order to be refunded. Now, we will go directly to a hearing this spring. As you reported from your closed session, there are currently two tenured track faculty members who are on paid administrative leave. CODFA is representing both of them, and we will report further as the process moves along. In 2 weeks, I will be attending an arbitration hearing on behalf of a faculty member who was put on administrative leave in fall of 2016. So these issues sometimes continue. As we continue to grow and gain wonderful recognitions, as well as celebrating our 60th year, it is my great hope that we also enhance our ability to dialogue, transparent dialogue, among and between the diverse areas of College of the Desert. Thank you.
Thank you. Academic Senate.
Well, hello, everyone. Well, at least to me, the spring semester is off to a great start. All kinds of great news and everything. But I'd like to begin by thanking trustees Stefan and Wilson for attending our internship presentation on January 26th, as well as the very kind words that Trustee Wilson expressed to the Foundation Board a few days after that regarding the student presentations. The students were very, very pleased that you were able to attend their presentation. And of course, everybody's been talking about it. Everybody's heard about our accreditation report and Bellwether Awards. And I want to thank everyone for the efforts everyone has put in for achieving these accomplishments. And of course, as the current Senate president, I would like to be able to stand up and take credit, but in reality, obviously, I had almost nothing to do with any of these things. But I am the Senate president. Okay, but seriously, I look at these accomplishments as an effort of the entire college, and certainly it should be looked upon as that. And again, congratulations, everybody. And I think, again, the college is doing a great job. I strive to report on faculty activities, too, that are ongoing and things that are going to be coming up. And I only have a couple items in that area here. The Marks Art Center right now is currently featuring an exhibit that worked from current emeriti and retired adjunct art faculty, if you can make it. I got Anna Marie Velos is currently serving as the interim gallery director. Another one, this one's a little longer, Ruth Nolan. I think I reported on this partly before, but she's going to be attending the Associated Writing Program's National Annual Conference in Tampa in March in Florida. As part of a panel presentation of authors, one of the co-presenters, is Linda Gray Sexton, daughter of famed poet Anne Sexton. She's also scheduled to give lectures on her sabbatical from 2015-16 research project, Fire on the Mojave, Stories from the Deserts and Mountains of Inland Southern California, for the Mojave Historical Society in February, for the Inlandia Institute in March, the Palm Springs Library in April, and the Desert Institute in June. Ruth has also been appointed to an advisory board member for the West Coast branch of the renowned nationally based writers organization, Poets and Writers, alongside such literary luminaries as Luis J. Rodriguez. Lastly, while I try to keep my presentations to the board kind of and as positive as possible, there's one issue that I really think needs attention. Our faculty development program at College of the Desert relies heavily on all of our faculty having an opportunity to attend conferences and workshops to enhance their knowledge and their teaching skills. However, with the lack of funding available for these travel activities, many are unable to attend these important opportunities. Those of us who have grants and such to support travel still are able to do this, but that's not the case for most. So I suggest that we look for a way to start supporting this in a better manner, I guess, for faculty who want to engage in faculty development so we can continue to grow as an institution and provide the best possible learning environment for our students. All right, thank you.
College of the Desert Foundation.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Well, first off, we'd like to congratulate President Kinnaman for a moving and inspiring college or State of the College address last month. It was fabulous. And on behalf of the Foundation Board, congratulations to everyone on winning the Bellwether Award. The board is really enthusiastic and know that that will carry over in exciting ways in getting people interested in getting more involved with the college and hopefully wanting to financially support our mission. I'd also like to thank and acknowledge Trustee Aurora Wilson, who's been reappointed to the Foundation Board as your representative. We're delighted to have her back. A couple things going on. An activity that we planned in honor of the 60th anniversary. Our annual scholarship celebration reception is going to be coming up this month on the 28th. It'll be at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the gymnasium. And it's really a lovely opportunity to connect donors who've established scholarships with the students who are the recipients of this. There's a magic that takes place when donors can see firsthand the impact that their philanthropy is having on our amazing students. Any of you who have not been before but would like to come, please let me know. We'd love to have you there. President Kinnaman will be one of our speakers for the event as well. Coming up in April, again, another 60th anniversary activity. We'll be doing our signature event, Stepping Out for COD. It'll be on Tuesday, the 3rd of April at 8 a.m. in the McCallum Theater. We're going to have Lucy Arnez as our entertainment this year, so it's sure to be a really fun and exciting gathering. The event is co-chaired by two of our Foundation Board members, Diane Gershowitz and Diane Rubin. Our presenting sponsor this year is the Harold and Arlene Schnitzer Care Foundation, to whom we're very grateful for. And we'd like to acknowledge Trustee Wilson, who is a sponsor of this year's event as well. I ask you to join me in thanking her. A last item I wanted to share is that the Foundation's community engagement tours are well underway. This is a program that's under the creative and capable direction of my colleague Peter Sturgeon. Over the last 5 years, we've had over 1,000 members of our local community come to COD to meet our faculty, administrators, and our students. And I went on the tour this week myself, and it was really an inspiring event to see how passionate our students and faculty are in talking about the things that they do, and amazing to see the reactions from the members of our community who say, I had no idea all these great things were happening at the college. I'd also like to acknowledge some of our faculty and administrative colleagues who make the tour the amazing activity that it is. Dorothy Anderson in the automotive department, Bert Batanga in architecture and construction management, George Brown in the HVAC area, Diane Rumson in the early childhood development center, Chef Jeff Azer in culinary, Christina Brasino, Sarah Fry, and Carol Scobie in the nursing department, and Neil Lingle in public safety. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm sure you feel like you have been here forever now, after that exciting month we've had. But again, we welcome you to the COD campus and community. Governing Board, Student Trustee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this is a really short report. I apologize. So I went to the State of the College last month,
You did.
which was very successful. I was able to meet David Vogel, who is the founder of Digicom, and we were able to talk. And I love his how he's gonna bring that program here, and I'm glad that we're having a program
Isn't that
because
exciting?
my first major was going to be film and media, but sadly it wasn't offered at that time. It wasn't really accredited. So another one I went to was the Emeriti event, the full emeritus faculty reception. I was only able to attend for a little bit because I had to leave right after, but it was also very nice, and I was able to talk to a lot of faculty members. I was also went to the congratulatory for the faculty who have worked here for so long, and I was able to surprise Dr. Kinnaman, which was an honor. And I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie, and I wasn't able to say words, but I thank you for being such a leader here and being able to give me encouragement and show me that I'm also able to achieve great things.
I heard you did an awesome job.
It was great, yeah. So I also started the semester last week, and it's been great so far. I'm getting used to my classes, and right now I just want to talk about the ASCOD plans and give us kind of like a contract or hopes that we want to achieve, and I want us to achieve this semester, and those are I want to have elections that our students are voting on, and we get a substantial amount of students voting, and we hope to get a lot more than we did last year, and to have a majority of students be able to participate. We also want to work on the smoking policy to review and revise it. That way we could present it to the board hopefully this semester, and for a smoke-free campus. Also, we are working on finally getting our podcast started here at KCOD, and that way we could present what ASCOD is doing, and hopefully try incorporating that somehow into ASCOD and having everybody contribute. The last one is having the student rights fair, and we wanted to have a major impact on the students here, knowing what their rights are and how to properly function here at the school, and know that they have these rights. And most of the students, I know they're here for 2 years and then they want to head out and transfer. But I think being able to know these things and contribute is a big deal. And that's it. So I hope to make this informal contract with the board and everybody here. But I think it's very important for us to strive for something and work hard to achieve it, and see that we are able to produce an outcome for the rest of ASCOD in the following years. And that to me is more important than not doing anything.
That's very good.
So, thank you. That's my report.
Would you mind sharing with us what you said that was possibly a choice to be your major had it been offered at the time? What is your choice? What major are you pursuing?
Computer science.
Computer
science is my major, and I wanted to be a film major, but I decided, computer science is a really great my secondary choice, and I also said, I want to incorporate it somehow into the film business and try going on from there. So
that's great. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate it. Trustee Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know we've already talked about the bellwether, but again, as one of the trustees that attended, just for me, my heartiest congratulations to everyone associated with that. All the hard work that was done in preparing for the entries, Trustee Stefan, I know she's going to be mentioning it. Both of us were honored to attend and be part of the efforts. We took our roles very seriously. She and I rehearsed for several hours on our contributions to the presentations. So again, very, very pleased to be proud of it. There was a lot of work behind the scenes and long hours in preparation of the presentations. My hat's off to Vice President Neary. Keeping the groups organized was like herding cats. You know, but particularly my hats off and congratulations to those who have the hands-on that weren't there at the presentations, but who are truly the boots on the ground, the folks that really do all the hard work that make those programs and efforts so successful. So thank you. We haven't seen anything in the newspaper. You know, I'm a little surprised, so maybe there's some editorial or something we could do, President Kinnaman.
We have been discussing that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, very good. And again, amazing news on accreditation. You know, my hat's off to the accreditation team. What an outstanding job everyone did. You know, it takes a village in 7 years. That's just amazing. Hats off again. We had the State of the College Conference. Good work, excellent presentation, the way the whole thing flowed on January 24th. Excellent to hear about the new partnerships with Digicom and hearing several of our COD alumni tell their personal stories. It was very heartwarming. And then that great review of our history, our 60-year history. Well done, whoever put that together, you know, kudos to that work. And I just saw that it was very, very well attended by local members in the community, so excellent job, excellent work. Later that evening, Trustee Stefan and I, we bumped into each other again at the full-time and emeritus faculty reception in honor of our 60th anniversary, and that was also well done. All the work that went into that, and it gave me an opportunity to visit with faculty and some of our new faculty and enjoy some of the great food that was there. I attended the Employee Service Awards on January 25th. My congratulations to the many that received recognition for their longtime service to College of the Desert. Thank you for your dedication and your years. And also congratulations to Dr. Kinnaman for receiving your own service award. You were a little surprised about that. I know that Dr. Farmer mentioned it already, but I do want to acknowledge the wintership student presentations again that took place. You know, some of the presentations included areas such as air quality and the Salton Sea, and I'll tell you, the detail and knowledge was impressive and way over my head. So, you know, you could tell all the work that went into those student presentations, so congratulations and good work by the students, sir. The Marks Art Center is featuring an incredible exhibition of art from our faculty. If you haven't seen it, I really urge you to take the time to see the amazing talent associated with College of the Desert. It was also a great opportunity to meet Ana Maria Velez, who's the interim gallery director. And finally, I would like to acknowledge the Riverside County Board of Supervisors for their unanimous action in support of DACA. Thank you.
Mary Jane, it's noon. Would you mind waiting with your report till we come back after break? Okay, you don't mind? Okay. So, it's 12, that's what I'm saying. So this is the perfect time for us to recess to close session. If there are no objections from the board, I thank you, and the board will reconvene at 1:30. Thank you. And thank you all for my script. Call the meeting back to order. I thank you for I appreciate your indulgence. We were looking at some past minutes to see whether an item had been put into policy or not. We were in the midst of governing board reports. We had heard from Trustee Wilson, and now we'd like to hear Trustee Sanchez Fulton's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just wanted, it's been another busy month out in the beautiful Coachella Valley, enjoying these beautiful days like all of you. Attended the wonderful work of the India Women's Club. And it was wonderful to hear about the keynote speaker about loving all animals. So I would hope to see that she comes to our college community and talk about adopting our little furry friend and taking care of our little furry friends. Let's say you're not ready to adopt and have a forever home with one of our furry friends, or just to have one in the meantime. So I would love to see that speaker come over here and talk about if you would like to one day, you know, foster and take care of one of our little furry friends. We have, you know, they're just wonderful beings. So also attended the Palm Desert Chamber Mixer and last month. And I forgot to mention, I really want to thank our College of the Desert Peter Sturgeon, because he's going to be, I want to go back to the India Women's Club. He's going to be our MC for our annual scholarship dinner. So I really want to thank Peter for coming out and being our MC for our annual fundraiser. Went through an awesome training called the South Voter Registration Educational Project. I attended that project, and that's something I'd like for the college, like other community college, educating our students about voter education and voter registration. Maybe just, there's a law, I believe, I don't know the number, maybe in the future item we can talk about that, but giving out voter registrations, having people and get them voted, you know. Another thing, attended, I'm all flustered here, so bear with me. Attended HOPE, Women's Empowerment, Hispanics Organized for Political Equality. It was a wonderful day of mentoring of fellow women in celebration of Women's Month, and it was wellness and wisdom. And just lovely to attain, to go and attend and mentor a lot of young women on those issues of self-care on that. So it was very wonderful to attend and speak on that in one of the little breakout sessions. And I want to thank HOPE for all the work they do statewide. Attended the 2 meetings last month of the successor agency. We had one, then we had another emergency meeting on the 31st. And as your representative from the College of the Desert, I attend those. So it was very, very insightful, and we got a lot of work done last month. Attended the RAP Foundation Mixer. It's a wonderful nonprofit, the RAP Foundation, what the works they do here in the Coachella Valley. I really want to thank Mark Morris and Peter Sturgeon for being representing the college at the Mixer for the RAP Foundation and representing us there. So it was wonderful to be there and be with them as well. So that was really good. Attended, of course, our beautiful Faculty Employee Awards luncheon and the keynote speech by Dr. Kinnaman celebrating our 60th anniversary. It was a wonderful preview. It was wonderful to applaud the 5, the 10-year, the 15, the 25, the 30-year employees here at the college, and especially you, Dr. Kinnaman, got an award. It was very wonderful that our student trustee took us all. It was really beautiful. I love that. It was innovative. I mean, it was, and to do that. But I really want to thank those individuals that have been with the college so many years. I started at the college in 1998. So the College of the Desert is my home, what gave me my start. And I'm indebted to the College of the, and that's why I love the College of the Desert, because if it wasn't for the College of the Desert, I don't know where I would be. I love the College of the Desert. I love the ability to represent you, to serve you, the people. And as a community activist, it's wonderful that the college is doing so much for the people of the Coachella Valley. And like all of you guys, like all of you, like all of us board members, we're working so hard for you. I just took a breath. Madam Chair, I want to give kudos to Ryan, our former COD alumni, that did the mural at Desert Regional. So that was really wonderful to see our students and a lot of our alumni doing a lot of great things. So really want to give a shout out to them. And please go see the mural, and it's at Desert Regional. Attended something really beautiful. And Aurora, you were there. It was celebrating the life. And thank you for coming out to our city in Desert Hot Springs. Celebrating Anna Moss. She was a Desert Hot Springs Women's Club member and also a founding member of the College Scholarship Fund. So the Women's Club of Desert Hot Springs, I want to thank you for coming out to Desert Hot Springs, Aurora, and celebrating the life of Anna Moss. Thank you. I'm honored, and I just kind of want to mention at the end, I'm very honored and privileged that I believe last week, I was elected president of the LULAC Chapter 1136 of the Inland Empire. So I'm very proud to represent that organization and honored that to be on that position. So for all of those people, I really want to thank you. So thanks a lot, and this ends my report. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Fred, Professor Yount?
Thank you. Several years ago, when I was dean of the Palm Desert campus of Cal State, we had an active shooter on campus. And the Riverside County Sheriff's Department was so professional in handling that. The weakness in the system was students, faculty, and staff who left their secure locations to walk in the hallway to see what was happening. 3 weeks ago, I was asked to do a lecture at Cal State San Bernardino that started at 6 o'clock. And at about 6:05, someone off campus fired a high-power rifle through a window in one of the buildings on campus. So with a second active shooter experience, I want to relate what happened in that one. The campus was put on immediate lockdown, and everyone was told to stay in their classrooms and offices, even though the incident was many buildings away from where I was. So at 6 o'clock, we had to decide what to do. We were told to stay in the classroom, which we did. But what do you do? Sit there and wait and be nervous? So maybe out of bravado or something, I said, well, let's just go ahead with the lecture. So I went ahead with my lecture, although that was quite an experience because everyone there was, in that graduate class, spent more time on their cell phones trying to get information about the active shooter on campus. But what else can you do? So that took us to about 7 o'clock. And at that point, people's nerves were just on edge and talking about, should we put chairs at the door? Should we turn out the lights? And no information, nothing what to do. That took us to 8 o'clock, no information, and people were so nervous. So at this point, I guess out of just stupidity, I said, well, we have two choices. We can leave or we can stay. So we voted to leave as a group. So the 12 of us kind of banded together in this tight group and left the building, got to the parking lot and left. And I subsequently was told that some other people stayed in the building until 11 o'clock when they were finally released by police. So my second experience with an active shooter says to me that our security people know how to handle the security, but there's a failure in communicating to people who are at nerve's end, sometimes in their offices and classrooms. So I'm just putting this out as a suggestion to our people here. I know they're competent and ready to handle it, but I wonder if we have good communication systems to everyone in their offices and classrooms as to what to do, because I've seen it twice now. People simply get so nervous and so scared and need information, even if it's information that says, stay, something is happening. But the absence of any information was just terrifying to people. So just putting that down as a recommendation for our folks. With 2 active shooters, in my experience, I don't want to have a third. So I hope this activity comes to an end on all of our college campuses. Just a few minutes to say appreciation to everyone involved in the accreditation. Having been involved in many accreditations, I know the amount of work that goes into it. I also know how much of a recognition it is that we have 7 years. 7 years without a subsequent visit, maybe we could possibly lose the blackout of the windows in this facility. So does it have to stay this dark for the next 7 years?
There's something in the works.
Okay,
Oh,
thank you.
I think I've said that twice today.
Thank you. And thanks to everyone who did a miracle to make the Palm Springs facility open. That took a lot of work and a lot of effort for everyone to make that happen. And time is coming to an end, so I'll save other comments till next month. Thank you.
Thank you. I had not thought about that shelter in place or building 5 is free to leave or something. It's a good idea to put in our emergency plans.
It was just amazing how scared people were without information.
Trustee Stefan?
All righty. Well, first off, this last month, I had the opportunity to attend the full-time and emeritus reception. It was after my school hours. And Aurora and I and our student trustee were all there. And it was a wonderful event, wonderfully attended. It was great to see everyone that was there, and it was a very happy occasion. It was the first time I saw our video celebrating our 60th anniversary with the history. And that was exciting for me because I remember a lot of those days before we had any of our outlying campuses. Everything was done here. If we did have classes off campus, they were all done at high schools or at churches. And it was kind of like, I guess, backroom community facilities is what I used to refer to it as. I believe it was the next night or a night after that. I was able to attend the Winternship student presentations. And these students, they were just outstanding. I remember my genetics classes. I remember being at that level or at community college level, but I do not remember being at the level of depth that they were presenting in their presentations. And that was just outstanding. I was so impressed by what they were accomplishing and their knowledge and their ability to communicate that to people in the audience like me that were kind of like, huh? And their willingness to talk to me afterwards, you could tell some of them were very nervous. It was their first time. Some of them obviously had done this previously, but they were all so accomplished in what they were doing and their knowledge and their participation in their groups, in these experimental groups. And their presentations were outstanding. I just had to stay after until they met with the evaluator that had come from Los Angeles area to be able to talk to them and to thank them for sharing and for getting up there and doing that. Because I know Trustee Wilson and I were both just blown away, blown away by their expertise in their area. The next thing that happened was Trustee Wilson and I went to Florida to participate in the Bellwether, and we had 2 different presentations, and we were very nervous because we were the opening speakers in both of her in one
Whoa.
presentation, and I was in the other one, and we were both afraid we were going to make some drastic mistake and put nails in our coffins, so to speak. And then we got good news the day before we presented about our accreditation that was shared with us. But we were all excited about that, so we went in and we did the very best we could, and at the Bellwether, and some of the speakers that we met there, they were really outstanding. They were talking about off-campus facilities that were actually brought onto the outlying areas. So you had a vehicle, much like our HVAC unit that we have at Amistad High School, that traveled, and it went to one site in one part of their community college district, and then it might go to another area. And that they had these big storage facilities at each of the different places where they had the supplies that were consumable, so that you just traveled the classroom from site to site. So it was super cool. And some of those were in welding. They did it with auto shop. They did it with nursing. They did it with several things. So that was one of the things that really impressed many of us. One of the other speakers that was there spoke about computer technology, and our student trustee wants his degree in computers. And this was right up my alley because it was what my doctorate was basically around. And it was the area of computer intelligence and how you can program computers now with the persona of an individual, such as Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King, or John F. Kennedy. And you can bring them up to date with all the through technology because they are a computer. And then you could have that persona, read the papers that students wrote and give their opinion. And I thought, wow, it's finally getting here. Because my thing was on where are we going to go with technology? How are we going to make it improve what we actually do in education? And I could just see that as a win-win for students and educators, because we wouldn't be doing that Rubik's evaluation that is supposed to be subjective, but you know the student, and many people think it's not really as subjective as it's supposed to be, but this would be totally subjective, and it would be by somebody that was an expert, and the student could almost pick the person, like maybe they had been reading something by Victor Hugo, and that was the persona that read their paper of their evaluation of Victor Hugo's work. So it could be so beneficial in every respect. So that was something that I related to. I want to thank everybody, not just the people that went. Yeah, they gave up their time. They did these wonderful presentations, and they had their hearts and their souls into it. And many of us were so nervous going in, and then afterward we were so relieved. But just that it was over, we were so happy. And then when we were able to get our small little award for being a finalist, we were super excited. And then the next night, or the next afternoon, when we won that big award, like Felix, he jumped out of his seat screaming, and I thought a firecracker had gone off under him. It was like, ah! And then it dawned on me why he was screaming. And so, and the rest of us chimed in. But everybody here at the campus is responsible for when we win anything, the Bellwether, when we win the, when we get the accreditation, when we get a 7-year accreditation thing, that is not just the people that are the front spokespeople in anything. It's every single person on the campus that makes it possible, because those spokespeople could not do what they did if it weren't for the people that were here in the trenches working every single day, doing what many of us don't even know what they actually do for our students unless you see something behind the scenes. And talking of accreditation, my school went through their accreditation this last Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we had a team visiting, and College of the Desert showed up for our community. And I am so thankful to Zarel Becker, and I believe it's Dr. Blazer. Is that right? Blaza, Dr. Blaza, sorry for mispronunciation. They were absolutely incredible. The people on the team were like, my gosh, you know, you've got a community college behind you. You've got, you know, this working with you. And it makes all the difference when we're out in the community and people see us out in the community. We've got that van that comes, that big trailer that comes to our campus, and it's sitting there, and it's got College of the Desert all on it, and it's all wrapped up and all, you know, it's like wrapping paper for me every day when that instructor pops it open and the students, you know, go over to it. It's just like unwrapping a Christmas present, and I get all excited about that. The other thing that I want to thank today is our nursing faculty. Unfortunately, I had to go to the emergency room a week ago, this last Sunday, and I'm sorry, I might be Hungarian and from that neck of the woods where Dracula's from, but I don't give up my blood easily. And the phlebotomists always, you know, walk away, you know, arr, 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 you know, because I'm so difficult. But the phlebotomist I had was a graduate from COD nursing, and she got it first time. And I bled good for her. But I just wanted to say, it didn't even hurt, you know. So I want to really thank our nursing faculty because she knew, you know, she was able to get in there and figure out what was going on, and she got it. She nailed it. And it really speeded things up, and it made my life easier. So I just wanted to say thank you to our nursing faculty for being such excellent teachers on that score. And again, thank you to everybody on this campus for every single thing you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Sorry I went over.
Yeah, shame on you.
I'm bad.
Julia, I need to go on the record to report out from the closed session that my mea culpa, there was no reportable action. I would be remiss if I didn't congratulate and thank all those people that worked toward the bellwether, that worked toward accreditation, all the outstanding things that we do and that we've been recognized for. So thank you again for that. Looking a little closer to home and hearing your comments about how wonderful it is to see College of the Desert out in the community, I have recently attended an Ag Expo event that's going to be held here in the Valley in March. Our college has been very involved in that. We had good representatives there yesterday when I was at that meeting. And it was wonderful to hear what they had to say, what they had to add, and how they interacted with that community. I believe it's through that influence that Ag event, which used to be strictly an export event, has begun to look at agriculture as a big picture. They've begun to look at agriculture as not just producing the food, but serving the food, talking about water usage, all the various aspects that there are really agriculture. You've heard me say, and will hear me say many more times, if you eat and wear clothes, you're involved in agriculture. So this group is looking that way, and our college has had a good impact on that. The other thing that truly amazed me was not that we had the high schools there. That part was wonderful. But they were talking about how many of their students they were going to bring to this event. And other people sitting at the table were going, oh no, you're going to bring students to that event. They'll change the whole atmosphere. And I'm going, yeah, okay. They change the whole atmosphere, and how will the sponsors feel about it? I'm sitting there thinking, wow, this is so different than what we think and talk and do every day, that our thought is, oh, how can we include the students? They're such a wonderful addition. And I'm sitting looking, thinking back, while some trustees did Bellwether, I went up to Sacramento for the for the chair. They have an annual training for new trustees and the chair of the board. I went up to Sacramento for the league's training for that, and one of the sessions I attended was the your ethics workshop training, where I got my little certificate. But honestly, that can be a very dry discussion because the same items and almost the same examples are brought up over and over. Well, this year there was a breath of fresh air. We had almost an equal number of student trustees in that meeting. They had some great ideas, some great examples, and threw out comments that led to great discussions that were not just student discussions, that were not just elected trustee discussions, but were interactive. So it was great. And so again, I'm going back to these people that are going, oh, what if you have too many students here? And I'm thinking, how many is too many? You know? So I really have to say that I appreciate that approach that this entire college community has to students. Okay, you're going to have to listen to at least a minute worth of Mecca news. The wet lab, the infamous wet lab in Mecca, I've had such good reports about how well it works and how inspiring it is and how science is there to do and what an inspiration it is. So thank you for all of that. All of you that have heard me cry about a wet lab, now you hear me sing its praises, so thank you very much. I know that one of our accreditation items that we're always working on is student services to our outlying campuses or our outlying sites. We're making advances on that. I understand that we now have video online counseling that's coming from the Mecca Thermal area.
Is Desert Hot Springs going to have that?
I don't know. I just asked about Mecca Thermal.
You're giving your report?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. The answer is yes. Financial aid has changed its days to Wednesday instead of Tuesday, and that is not just an arbitrary change. It's a change so that it coordinates our services with our counseling partners. And that way our students will have full access to counseling, A&R, and financial aid all on the same day. So those are small changes, but very important changes to students. So it's just my way of saying thank you again for considering the needs of students that are not on this main campus. It's come a long way from when you had to drive in from Mecca in order to do any of the getting enrolled or making that part of your work. I have one question which I'm throwing out there, and I'm hoping I'll get an email answer, but I think all the board will probably need to know this. Scholarships. We're so fortunate to have our pledge coming up, but some of our students, as the young ladies you saw this morning, are still actively looking for scholarships. What I need to know as a person that's out in the community is when students receive scholarships, how can those be put into the college with that student's name attached so that they could perhaps use that money for books and other supplies? So I think if you'd let Julia know, then all the board can know, because I'm sure I'm not the only person that comes up for, because we're in a wonderful situation. But these students are still being rewarded for their hard work. So we need to know how to direct that, whether they should tell the scholarship, the people that are giving the scholarship, to hold on to the money till they transfer on, or whether it's available to use here for those other items that a student uses, because the students I know could really use the money for textbooks and other things. So it would help a lot. Okay, so lots of exciting things happening, lots of hard work. Thank you to everyone. I appreciate that. So I believe that is the end of you've had to hear all of us. Does the Superintendent President have a report?
Madam Chair, I think that public updates were sufficient for me today. Thank you.
We've melted your ears down, so I appreciate that. Next on the agenda is the consent items, and Aurora, I apologize, I did find your information. So all the items on the consent agenda will be considered for approval by a single vote without discussion. Any board member may request that an item be pulled from the consent agenda to be discussed and considered separately in the action agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I'm looking at my parliamentarian who's studiously ignoring me smartly. So this is where I ask for what, is there anything they wish to pull? Okay.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to pull item under Administrative Services, item D. I'd like to pull item 5, out-of-state travel.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else? Okay, so okay, Carlos, help me here. So now we have something pulled. So, and we have a motion on the floor that we accepted. How do we amend that motion?
So your motion was to approve, your second was
To approve, yes.
You want to ask if there are any other items?
I did, yes.
Hearing no more items, are there any objections to removing that item?
Okay, so if there are no other items to remove, are there any objections to removing that item or to voting on the consent agenda as presented without that item? Is that okay? Yeah. Live with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's close enough.
I think it's close enough, yes.
Now we can vote.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second that we can approve the consent agenda, having this item 10D5 moved. Student trustee Delgado?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing no opposition, I hear that as unanimous vote. And now I have a new script I get to use.
Maybe.
Okay, yes, maybe, yes. So, the first item on action agenda is to discuss and approve, or not, the items that were pulled from the agenda. And do I have a motion to approve item 10, consent agenda, 5, administrative services, D, excuse me, administrative services, 5, out-of-state travel?
Aye.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. It's been moved and seconded that, so we can now move to discussion. Trustee Wilson, would you like to speak first?
Yes, Madam Chair. I would like to call attention to item 3 of that request, and it's with regard to KCOD. And I know we had a presentation not that long ago with regard to that broadcast station, our own. And I just wanted to say how thrilled I am to see that our students are going back and with the possibility of getting some awards. So really happy to see that KCOD is moving forward in such a manner. And even still, on top of that, that we may be getting an FM translator station very soon. So it's really exciting to see how far this little radio station that started up in 2011 has come. And I hope that there'll be some sort of recognition, President Kinnaman, with regard to KCOD, and if we do get this 99.9 FM station, that
We
can
will
do
plan a
something
party.
something to celebrate that.
Yes.
So that was my only comments on that item, Madam Chair.
It is very exciting. When we began that program, the trustees were invited to visit the station.
Yes.
So after we climbed up 4 jillion stairs at least, my Fitbit was, and went into this tiny little room. And we did ask how far could this radio station broadcast, and I think it's approximately the area of 2 of those tables put together. But it didn't matter, because the students learned so much about all the aspects of broadcasting. And that program has grown through because the professors that teach it love it, because the students that take it love it, and because they had the support of the administration. So I thank all of that from happening. Are there any more comments? They're always exciting. Okay. If there's no more discussion, we have a motion and a second for this item that we pulled. Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I hear that as unanimous vote. And the script works great. Thank you so much. Action item. The first item is under the first listed action item. B, Board of Trustees, Board Member Travel. Do I have a motion to approve the board travel as presented?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second, okay? Is there any discussion? Is it gonna be up to me? Okay,
We
it
need-
falls on my broad shoulders.
My paper.
Yes, I do have your paper, Bonnie.
Okay.
Okay. It's unusual as chair that I actually put much discussion in other than kudos, but I feel at this time that it's important to talk about and think about this. In July, we had a it was included in the president's updates. And as I remember, there was some discussion about Assembly Bill 1887. And Assembly Bill 1887 was a bill which prohibited state funding and state-sponsored travel to states with discriminatory laws. And those states that were listed at that time were Alabama, Kansas, Kentucky, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, and Texas. Actually, that's not exactly the way I remember it. I remember it that there were a number of states that were listed and either 2 or 3 added afterwards. But by the time,
Arizona one? Arizona?
I don't believe so.
I
By
don't
that,
think so.
I think this is the complete list now, but that is not the way the list was actually started. The list actually began with 5 or 6, and then the others were added. By the time it came to us, all 8 states that are listed here were on that list. They were listed, as I said, because those states have discriminatory laws. And some of those laws were discussed at that time. They were basically those laws that discriminate against the LGBTQ community. And most of those states, we could add a few other discriminatory laws, but they weren't listed in this legislation. It was my memory that we as a board had supported this. But the minutes correct my memory, and that is what the discussion was when we had that lapse and didn't come back from closed session and open right away because I didn't want to misspeak. So we had a discussion supporting this, but there are exceptions to the legislature, to this legislature, and the community colleges are not actually tied to it. So if we as a board care to make a policy, we can do that. But we will need to do that in the future. We have not done that now, although that was not my memory, but that seems to be actually what the minutes reflect. So that is my statement, that I don't believe at this point it is, what we're discussing is, I think that is the discussion as to why a trustee would choose to vote or to vote for, to vote against, or to abstain on this item. It would have nothing to do with a trustee traveling. It would have to do with community college money being spent to travel to these states. And not about a person, but about this Assembly Bill 1887 and its prohibition on state funding and state-sponsored travel to these mentioned states with discriminatory laws. Thank you for keeping the notes. Is there any other discussion?
Yes, I'd like to talk to this
You want your notes back?
This event is the Governance Leadership Institute. I did attend that last year. And it is one of those conferences put on by the ACCT. It's a training. And it is for, when I attended, I was a little bit taken aback because the other colleges sent their entire board and their president, or the majority of their board and their president, because it is done in teams. And when I came back, I reported that, and I said that we all needed to go to this. It was something that I felt very, very strongly about. I still feel it is a wonderful governance leadership institution. It's probably one of the very best trainings I ever had as a trustee. And I've been doing this 17, 18 years now.
18 years.
18 years, I think. I think this is 18. The thing is, I have misgivings. On the other hand, I think that we need to be cognizant of the fact that we are in a leadership position, and that this is one of the states that does not adhere to what we say we are about in our communities. And I think we need to just stop talking the talk, and we need to actually walk the walk, which means in this case, not attend. So that is, even though I think it's the most valuable conference training there is, I just feel that as trustees, we have to look at that. Are we gonna walk the walk, or are we just gonna talk the talk?
Any other discussion? Yes.
Madam Chair, I have a question. When did the bill pass?
This came to us in July, so I'm thinking it passed.
Doesn't it have the date? It does.
It may
doesn't
have the date. It's on the letter.
Well, not all states were in the original.
Correct, that's what my memory.
I think we really need to have a discussion and have a presentation of the actual, because right now so much was added on that we need to find out what it actually states before. We really need to have a study session on that, and I would love the college to have this type of study session. It would be wonderful to have.
The date from the Chancellor's office was June the 29th, 2017. And this is actually a letter that updated. It added 4 states to that list. I was correct. There were states that originally, Alabama, Kentucky, South Dakota, and Texas were added.
Right.
On June the 23rd.
Right.
The 4 states that were there originally was Kansas, Mississippi, North Carolina, and Tennessee. You can find the bill or the AB 1887 on that website under the oag.ca.gov website as AB 1887.
This is the governmental code.
Madam Chair, another question. So what did this workshop entail, or these are the topics? And what was the value and that we brought back from
No,
coming?
this was not a workshop. This was,
But didn't we
this
attend one
was-
last year?
Hmm?
She said that she,
No, the workshop that she went, the leadership workshop that you went to.
Yeah, it was a week long, basically a week long, and, yeah, for me, it was 5 days, 5 days. And the thing was, you sat down as a board and you went through what your policies were and related to each of these things, so that you were getting trained in something, and then you were looking at your own policy and reflecting on it. And then it was, and because I was there by myself, of course, it wasn't as valuable as it would have been had the whole board or majority of the board been there with the president, as was the case in many of the other cases.
And the things you're referring to are the topics that are
The
listed on that.
topics that are up here.
On that background information.
Some state institutions have chosen to use non-state funds to support travel to these states, which I think just subverts the intent and makes the intent meaningless.
Pretty much.
If anything, I think we need to adhere to the spirit of it rather than go around it.
Another thing, if I may, this conference, I was told when I was in Hawaii that they.
Oh, you went to Hawaii. Which one was that?
This was the one in Hawaii that I was at last
Was it
year.
a governance leadership?
It was the Governance Leadership Institute. And the other thing about it was I asked very specifically, why was it in Hawaii? And that was because they did it once every 10 years. They try to get to Hawaii because we have people from Guam and Samoa that it takes them as long as someone from Massachusetts to get to Hawaii, just to get to Hawaii. So that was why they had it in Hawaii. But I was also told that why didn't our college attend when they did it in California? And if there are enough colleges in the state of California, they will come down and do one. Because California is a very large area, and they said they had done it previously in Southern California. But they don't announce it when they do it that way. You know, the college can actually apply. And to me, that would be a much better way for us to go. Because then we could probably get a majority of the board there, and it would be much more beneficial.
And, Madam Chair,
Yes.
so the bill says that if, say we go to Texas, it will not be paid by the state, right? Or the state of California?
Yes, but I have to say that was the spirit of the conversation. I'm trying to make very clear. We did not, the community colleges are exempt from that. So we do not have to follow this. My memory, the discussion was so robust that my memory was that we had actually voted for a policy, and policies being a very loose thing. But the minutes do not reflect that, so it was simply a robust conversation. So that's what I'm saying, is that today, as we vote, I'm reminding the trustees that we're not voting as a policy. We're voting as our interpretation or our feelings of this AB 1887, of this bill. And I do think that when we get to the comments, I will suggest that we have a policy.
So I just, for the record, I just want to say it was such a robust, look, I believe, didn't it state that President Kinnaman, we were in discussion, but no action, is that correct?
That
I
is
just want
correct.
For the record.
There
and for
was
the
no
public.
discussion. That's correct. There was no discussion. I mean, there was no vote. It was simply a discussion.
So it would be nice to have a full,
Mhm.
like I've mentioned, to have a full discussion of the bill and have that brought to the college.
So that we can make a policy,
Right.
yes. Mhm.
Let's call the question on this one particular
Okay,
one.
thank you. The question's been called. The motion on the table is to approve the board travel policy as presented. Arturo?
Are we voting on calling the question?
Yes.
Or-
Do I have to vote
On the
to
motion.
call the question?
You can ask if there are any objections to calling the question.
That's way easier, thank
Yeah.
you. Are there any objections to calling the question?
I object.
Okay, you object, so do I need to vote?
No, you vote, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna have a vote on calling the question. All in favor for calling the question, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, board, and you have
I
voted no, so, okay. Okay, so all in favor of, I'm counting my votes here, of calling the question was aye, and I, no, I, 3.
What?
We're voting to call the question,
Meaning that you want to what?
to go to vote.
Yes.
Yes, okay, so that's unanimous. That is 5 members voting for calling the question and 1 opposed. And that would be our student trustee that was opposed. Okay, so calling the question has won the majority vote, so I am calling the question. Student trustee Delgado, your vote?
I have, I apologize, I don't have enough information to vote on it, so I'm gonna abstain.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed, okay. So I call that vote as 1 abstention, 1 for, and 4 opposed. To make it simple to write, the abstention was our student trustee. The member voting yes, you're okay, was, okay, good. Is that okay?
Yeah, you just need to call the vote now. So what
Okay,
happens?
so I'll call the vote as failing. Okay, thank you. I'll learn
And
so
you
much.
will, you said that you would propose.
When we get to comments, I will propose that, yes. Otherwise, I'll get the red card and the stink eye.
Does that include discriminatory values on African Americans, Asians, Latinos? I just want to be very clear on that.
Madam
I just-
Chair, the vote has been taken.
I just have a question.
I think we'll have to look that up later.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, Human Resources, Faculty Tenure Review. Do I have a motion to approve the Faculty Tenure Review as presented?
So moved.
I have that motion. Do I have a second?
Second?
Okay. I have a motion and a second. Do I have any discussion?
I want to thank the tenure review committees for all their hard work on this, because they do a lot of work to get these names to us by the deadline, and I know it's
Yes.
quite involved.
Absolutely. And
And
I
congratulate those
value
people.
their input because it is a peer review, and they've all been in those tough positions. So it's really good to know that they put their heart into it and many hours of hard work. Okay, so, is there any other discussion? So I have a motion and a second, I think, to approve the faculty tenure review as presented. No more discussion, student trustee?
Aye.
I have an aye vote there. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? I hear that is unanimous vote. Administrative Services, budget revisions. Do I have a motion to approve the budget? No? Did I miss something? Do I have a motion to approve the budget revisions as presented?
Tenure.
Tenure?
Now we're
Oh,
granting tenure.
now we're granting tenure. I missed the whole part, didn't I? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the granting of tenure as presented?
So moved.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. As I say, I should have written it on that one too, like I usually do. Do I have any discussion?
Yes, I do. I think granting tenure for those, I just want to be on record, Dorothy Anderson, Instructor of Automotive, Sarah Butler, Instructor of Political Science, Emily Madigan, Francisco Ramirez, Raid Sagara, and Alan Scott Ventura. I think this is wonderful that we have the opportunity to grant the tenure to these wonderful faculty members. Thank you.
It is exciting.
Yeah,
It's
it's a big
very
Mhm,
exciting.
It's exciting. Any other discussion? Okay, so, student trustee,
Aye.
all in favor? Aye. Opposed? I hear that is unanimous vote. And now yes, congratulations to our new tenured faculty. Yay! May they be watching, actually, probably working, but yes.
I think some may be watching.
Yeah,
I think they would be.
Administrative Services, D. Number 1 is budget revisions. Do I have a motion to, I tried to get to you before, John, but I didn't. Do I have a motion to approve the budget revisions as presented?
So move.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Do I have a presentation?
Yes, just briefly. You'll see the primary adjustment here are the adjustments for the bargaining agreement settlements. And that's the primary adjustment.
And we
in
don't
this
get
pres-
to ask John piercing questions, or?
The board can take liberties that they would like.
Is there any other discussion or questions? Okay, hearing none. You're off the hook, John. Student trustee Delgado?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hear that is unanimous vote. Certification of signatures, it's deja vu. Do I have a motion to approve the certification of signatures as presented?
So move.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any discussion? Fred said he's getting real good at this.
I'm ready to
collecting.
sign.
Student trustee Delgado?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Hear that is unanimous vote.
Done.
Resolution 020918-1, authorized signatures. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 020918-1 as presented?
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have motions and seconds. Is there any discussion? This is a resolution that is approving authorized signatures. President Kinnaman.
I'm sorry. Trustee Delgado.
Aye.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee Mary Jane Sanchez Fulton.
Aye.
Trustee Yant.
Aye.
Trustee Stefan.
Aye.
Madam Chair Broughton.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Study session, board self-evaluation instrument. We're gonna if you've not turned in your self-evaluation instrument, please do. It'll come back at a later meeting for us to discuss our evaluation and how we can work to improve our performance. President's annual report.
Yes, Madam Chair. Each of you have a copy of our annual report, the 2016-17 report. It also includes a report on the foundation. And in here you'll see a lot of things highlighted, not everything throughout the year, but some special moments that we've had, including some recognition of individuals like Ivo Kudernak and the observatory that we currently have at our Mechathermal campus. In addition, it has a section that talks about our expansion throughout the valley and how our programs are reaching more students closer to where they live, and recognitions that you've already mentioned around our radio station. We also illustrate in here an exciting event that we had this past year with the mobile training unit in our CT programs for the sustainable technologies, and one of our great allies in the community, Renova Energy, and that participated in our State of the College event. And of course, Pledge and Edge and athletics and our recognitions in the performing arts and the awards that we've received there, as well as some other great examples. And again, I stress just examples of this past year at College of the Desert.
It's been a good year. Absolutely. Thank you for that report and for the great celebration of our anniversary. I think it's wonderful that we look back and cherish and learn from what we've done in the past, and that we move forward into what we see as our future. Are there any future agenda items?
Yes.
Yes, Fred.
About a week ago, Riverside Press Enterprise started carrying a series of stories about mental health needs on college campuses. And it was really an enlightening story that, for various reasons, the need is probably increasing.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just ask that perhaps in a future study session on student services that we include more depth on health services, healthcare, mental health services. And I'll give you this article if you need. An interesting, one comment was that for colleges in San Bernardino County, the County of San Bernardino assigns a mental health caseworker to college campuses.
I think that's a fascinating.
So,
Okay, and I would, yes.
I'd like us to look into getting the Governance Leadership Institute somewhere in Southern California, joining with other community colleges in Southern California for that training to be initiated within the boundaries, and having someone contact the ACCT about the fact that we did not attend because of our AB number, what was it?
1887, I think.
1887, and that we would like to have the training offered somewhere in Southern California within a contingency of a few states in this region. I think they can do that.
Certainly.
And I would like us to have an appropriate discussion about our policy as a board for supporting AB 1887. I wouldn't be surprised if the league has something on it already, and it would give us a chance to build off of something that's already been done. Also, we have the California Community College League is having a meeting here in our valley in the fall. I believe it's in the fall. That's when they're usually here. I don't know if we're going to partner with them in any way, but we do. It'd be a fun thing to do. I'm somewhat amazed that, and maybe it's because the meeting I can usually go to when I'm lucky enough to go is the one in Sacramento, so it's focused on legislatures, but I'm surprised that there's not more going to the college, to your local community college, and seeing what they do. But I don't know, maybe that's just too home county for those folks, so what can I say? Any other agenda items, future agenda items?
I'd like to talk, as I've requested, about the governor's budget. That's something that I'd like to see more discussion on, and would love to hear that update, because I know that's going to be something that we're going to be part of and see where we're at financially, and the impact of the online communications for all the 115 community colleges. I'd like to see how the impact will be for us. Thank you.
Roy, did I see you raise your hand?
Yeah, Madam Chair, with regard to review of the legislation that you,
1887.
that you had talked about, perhaps we should also include pulling our board member travel policy, so that it kind of just, coincide with
Good thinking.
any action we take.
Good thinking. Student Trustee Delgado?
I'd really like to have more information about the transportation fee and how that works, and how we can implement that and how it would benefit students.
That's really good, because those little fees that really do impact students, you usually feel better. Any person generally feels better if they know how fees work, why they work, and what they do to help.
Right.
So that'd be a good discussion, a good bit of information. Okay, is there any other either future agenda items? Okay, the next item is closed session. Something has come up that we do need a short closed session for. But it is, if there's anything to report out, then I will come back to this room anyway to, before we adjourn the meeting. And I know that other staff has other things they need to do. So we'll report it out. Should there be anything, we'll report it out verbally, but also in a written form, so it'll be easy to communicate to the minutes. Okay, so we are adjourning to closed session.